this traumatized toddler's constant crying and screaming that led a neighbor to her mother's lifeless body.
Just shocking. It's a shame this time of the year. I feel sorry for the baby.
After the devastating discovery, the neighbor called 911, and that's when police found 22-year-old Toni Wells dead at the bottom of the basement stairs, here in her Crown Heights brownstone apartment on Sterling Place. It was around 10 Wednesday morning, and her body shows signs of abuse.
Preliminarily, the deceased female has bruising on her neck, and it appears as if she was either pushed or fell down the flight of stairs leading to the basement.
As detectives work on a motive, a source tells Pix 11 Wells' husband is a person of interest. Her family clearly emotional. Wells' sister breaking down, and Pix 11 has learned Wells and her 29-year-old husband had a history of domestic violence. Police were called here at least once before, but neighbors never expected anything like this.
It seemed like a pleasant family. You know, they do the laundry together.
Well, you don't know what goes on in people's houses.
YouTube, what's going on? Straight back again, hit you with a video. Now this video right here comes straight out of New York City, by way of Brooklyn, if you will. We have a 22-year-old pregnant woman who's basically pushed down a flight of stairs, allegedly, as the news says, by her 29-year-old husband. And one would be led to believe that this wasn't the first time that this woman was physically abused by this beast, this man, her husband, if you will. But this is what I tell people all the time. Beware of the signs of domestic violence. Because one thing about domestic abuse, it often escalates from verbal threats into physical threats, and from physical threats to death. So what I'm going to do is read a snippet from this story, and I will give my opinion, surely, as we go. Pregnant Brooklyn mom pushed to her death by husband. Police are questioning the husband of Brooklyn woman Toni Wells after she was found dead at the bottom of a staircase at her home. Toni Wells, a 22-year-old pregnant New York City woman, has died after allegedly being thrown down a flight of stairs at her Brooklyn home. Notice of the woman's death came after neighbors were alerted by the sounds of a crying infant baby around 10 a.m. Wednesday morning, along with loud banging noises. Upon entering the woman's Crown Heights home, cops told of finding the 8-month-old pregnant woman at the bottom of a staircase. A regard of the deceased woman revealed bruising around her neck, prompting calls Wells had been strangled. It wasn't immediately clear whether the woman's death was the result of having been pushed down the stairs or the result of a strangulation. The New York City Post reported the NYPD now treating the woman's death as a possible homicide, with cops now actively seeking the whereabouts of Wells' 29-year-old husband, Barry Wells, for questioning. Now, told a police source, witnesses heard an argument and something falling down the stairs, which evidently had to be hers. Now, I don't know how the apartments or these condos or townhouses, whatever you all have in New York City and Brooklyn. So who all stay in New York, especially Brooklyn, maybe you could chime in. Or if Brooklyn had the same architectural structure as other buildings in Harlem, Queens, whatever, you all could chime in and give us some clarification, if you will, about if you can hear somebody in the next apartment over or anywhere falling down a flight of stairs. So will you please chime in, those who from New York, can you chime in and tell the rest of the world, the rest of the viewers, you know, what it really is? Because I don't really understand that, because, I mean, you can hear certain things like people yelling and fighting, but I don't know if you can hear somebody falling down a flight of stairs. So please chime in. And also, Toni Wells was a previous victim of domestic violence at the home. See, this wasn't the first time this happened to this woman right here. Her boyfriend been whooping her ass a long time. I just got to say it just like that because, you know, I say it in a way because I want it to be like shock value. You know, it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. It ain't what you say, it's how you say it. So when I say things, I say it to strike a chord, to strike a nerve, so that way it'll stick with you longer. You feel me? Now, most damning were revelations that NYPD cops had been called to the Brooklyn house earlier that Wednesday to check on Wells, who told 911 she was scared of her husband because he was acting funny, according to police sources cited by the New York Post. And word of advice to you women and also to you men also, because, you know, I'm speaking for both parties. If you feeling something that's not right and you know your partner is acting very funny or irrationally or kind of crazy, schizophrenic, if you will, get the hell up out of there. Leave, drop everything you're doing. If you got a children, whatever, take them with you. Do not even leave the children there, because they might end up doing something to the children if they can't get to you. So you don't never know what's really going on with these people minds and these heads and where their thoughts be at these days. So you have to think for them and not only for yourself, but also think for them, which means, you know, get the hell out the whole vicinity, because, you know, out of sight, out of mind. They can't touch you if they can't see you. Think about that. So I know love try to keep you there and everything, and you love this person. You have compassion for this person. And you feeling like you can help this person. But it comes a point and it comes a moment in your life that you have to realize you are powerless. You cannot change people that do not want to be changed. And you can also not help these people who are spiritually possessed. It's also demon possession that's going on rapidly, and a lot of people are diagnosing this as mental illnesses. You know, you have to think what is a mental illness is first of all. You know, it's easy to just say, well, this person is this person is that. But let's go further than that. You know, let's go into the spiritual aspect of it. Stop looking at things in the physicality and look at things in the spiritual realm. And you will see that a lot of these people are possessed and they have no soul. And if they do have a soul, it's cold and dark in there. Now, but they never got out of the car. Neighbor Michelle Ruiz, 22, who last saw the young mom 3 weeks ago, confirmed that Wells was pregnant, and sources say police are aware of social media posts by Wells detailing that she was 8 months pregnant. So here's a woman 8 months pregnant about to give birth to this man other child. And this is the love and the thanks that she get, the respect that she get. Think about that, you know, because love these days is so shallow. And if you got somebody that really love you and they never lift a hand to hurt you or slap you or anything, you need to really cherish that person right there, because true, nobody should be getting they butt kicked by anybody, you know, but at the same time, millions of people do. Now, people say they seem like a nice family. Ruiz said of the couple, whose Facebook pages are both filled with photos of each other. See, we on the outside looking in. We can't really say what's going on behind closed doors, because none of us is behind those closed doors with these people, witnessing the day-to-day actions that are going on in these households. So, you know, it's easy for us to look across the street at another person's house and say, wow, you know, they got a good life. But you never know how much hell they're catching inside those houses and everything else. You know, think about that. Now, I would see them together. She was nice. He was always pleasant. This is a very quiet block. I didn't hear anything today. I'm still in shock, Ruiz said. I would never think in a million years something like this would happen. The on and off couple married in the spring, but the nature of that current relationship was unclear, NBC reported, which is a sign right there by him being already 7 years older than her, which is not really that much, but she's 22, he's 29. You would think that the 29-year-old will be long past the games, and I'm not putting all the blame on him, but evidently he is the killer, so a lot of the blame have to rest on his shoulders, because if you don't want to be with the woman, why beat the woman? If you know what I'm saying, why beat her and everything? If you don't want to be with her, just leave and go somewhere else. You know, pay your child support or take care of your children, whatever you got to do. But you know, you don't have a right to take somebody's life just because you feeling some type of way or because you done got some damn evil ass spirit inside of you. Now, during a press conference, Deputy Chief Michael Kemper, commanding officer of Detective Bureau Brooklyn North, said Wells' death was deemed suspicious. Preliminarily, the deceased female has bruising on her neck, and it appears as if she was either pushed or fell down the flight of stairs leading to the basement, Kemper said. And if she had bruises all around her neck and her arms, she was strangled. She was beat around, tossed around like a rag doll in there. And quite naturally, once he realized that he killed her, because I'm sure he made sure she was dead, then he decided to leave, leaving the child there witnessing his mama's death. You know, that's very hard. And think about the child. That's really going to be the one that suffers. True, Miss Tony Wells suffers. She's dead and she's gone. But think about the person that's left is this little baby. You know, what's to come of his future when the parents, the mom got killed by the dad, and now the child is basically going to be an orphan, because the dad, if he get caught up or whatever, he's going to end up doing life. You know, first degree, second degree murder. I don't know how they do it in New York for y'all laws, y'all statutes, but, you know, that's very serious right there. So you got to think about the child, you know. Now, neighbors heard the cries of the woman's 2-year-old child who was also in the home. And when they rushed over to investigate, they discovered Wells' lifeless body and called police. The medical examiner would determine the official cause of the death. Cops had previously responded to a report of one other domestic incident at the home, authorities said. So this wasn't the first time the police had to be called over there. And true, I'm talking to quite a few people right now where you had to have cops come and intervene in your domestic disputes. But if you can, keep police out your business, because you might just have a little simple argument, and you might have a crazy ass cop on the other end who come there looking for stuff to pop off. In the moment that some pops off, or he makes things, or they just take it a step further, instead of asking your husband to come outside, let me talk to you, they might try to grab him up roughly. Your husband might jack his arm back, and next thing you know, they might shoot him. Anything. So you have to think, all the way around the board if you can, 360 degrees if you can, because let me tell you something, you have to think about everything that can go wrong. No matter how bad you're feeling, put all your emotions to the side. You have to think about if you really got love for this person. Now if the person done threaten your life and done beat you down like a damn dog, okay, do what you gotta do. But if it's just a verbal dispute, come on, you can handle that without having the boys in the blue coming at your door. But anytime they get physical, because it started with verbal threats, but then when it started getting physical, you need to be wary. You need to get the hell on. Get a restraining order, because after that it's going to come death. And these are one of the cases right here, one of the prime examples. Now, the medical examiner will determine the official cause of the death. Internal Affairs Bureau has now launched an investigation into the officers who were initially dispatched. As friends and family wonder, police have blood on their hands or not, like what is really going on. So it's evidently it's more to the story. Let me see if they say any more. So it doesn't say it anymore, but I'll leave a link in the description. And a lot of you all might know the area I'm talking about. When you see the pictures of the woman, you see her, chilling with her child and everything, just like normal pictures women take and everything. And you would never think just by looking at them, they look like a happy couple. But at the same time, I look into people's eyes. And when I look into this guy's eyes, in the picture I'm going to show you all, you have to really see how he's eyeing her like that. It's a different glow in her eyes than a glow in his eyes, but some people can read people better than others. Some people can look into people's souls. I hope you all understand what I'm talking about, but let me know what you all think. If you want to share any issues that you know of for as your neighbors or yourself also, because we don't only talk about problems, we talk about solutions to the problem, because a problem will remain a problem till you come up with a solution to correct that problem. Think about that. And Miss Tony Wells, may you rest in peace. And people like Trey, don't these videos bother you sometimes? Yes, they bother me sometimes, but guess what? That's just like telling the man at the morgue, the coroner, that don't these deaths bother you sometimes? Yes, I'm sure it does, but guess what? Somebody got to do it. We all here to play a part in this big old puzzle that we call life in this world. So I'm just playing my part, even though these are not the only videos I do, but I hear that many a times. Yes, it'll get overwhelming, but guess what though? I got something that's backing me up, that's pushing me forward and giving me the strength to do these videos. Because yes, it gets sad. I done felt bad a lot of times before doing the videos or after doing the video. Just the fact that I respect people's life. I have respect for livelihood. Because don't nobody deserve to die by the hands of somebody else. If you didn't bring me here, you don't have no right to take me out. If I'm not threatening you, don't threaten me. If I'm not trying to kill you, don't try to kill me. And if more people thought like that, the world would be a better place. And also, when it gets too overbearing in these relationships where you have to deal with people who you just get tired of seeing. You remember how you used to be happy seeing that significant other, then all of a sudden it just put a sour taste in your mouth and your stomach. It's time to move on. The thrill is gone, like B.B. King say. It's time to go on with your life. Let that person be and either be by yourself or go find somebody else better or whatever else you want to claim. But don't sit up there and wallow in your sorrow. That's just like you spraying a pig off, then the pig run right back and jump into a dirty mess of dirty water. Just refuse to clean yourself up. Think about that. Once you got these relationships, leave that in the past, clean yourself off. I know it get hard, but at the same time, go on to better things, because better things are out there if you have the strength enough to let it go. So if it's not working, don't keep trying to fix it. Let it go. You'll be all right. You'll live to see another day. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like, subscribe. Till next time, y'all stay blessed. Make sure you share this with your friends and your relatives, those who are going through these issues. And sometimes outside person could tell somebody something that you can't. I even go through that sometimes where I have to go through somebody else, a cousin or aunt, to get a point across to somebody else. Sometimes it's like that because I don't have all the answers. I'm still learning myself, but I know enough to know one thing: I would not be around anyone who do not love me. Think about that today. I'm out.